Un día soñamos con crear un podcast que hablara de fertilidad, de familia, de maternidades y de vida. Así nació Nadie dijo que sería fácil, un podcast presentado por el Dr. Carlos Dosouto.
Today we have a very special guest. Her name is part of the history of reproductive medicine, but also part of the personal story of millions of families around the world. In 1978, Louise Brown was born in the UK as the first person conceived through IVF. That moment changed the history of fertility treatment and opened the door for millions of people to become parents. But today, we do not want to focus only on the milestone itself. We want to talk to the person behind that story. We want to understand what it has been like to grow up with such a well-known history, how that has shaped her over the years, and how she sees assisted reproduction today. Louise, thank you so much for being here with us in Eugin. Louise, I'd like to start with the most personal part of the story. When did you first realize that your birth meant something important to so many people?
So I was 4 years old, just starting school, and Mum and Dad sat me down, showed me the video of my birth, which is pretty gruesome in itself, and then just said I knew who Bob Edwards, Patrick Steptoe and Jean Purdy were because they'd been obviously a big part of my life from the very beginning. And they just said that they helped Mummy and Daddy have me. And just simple left it at that. It was mainly because I was starting school and obviously children can be quite cruel sometimes and they just wanted to make me aware. I mean, I think I was aware because there'd always been the press interest and things like that. And then as I got a bit older, just sat listening to them be interviewed by people. And then obviously when I got to about nine or 10, they then wanted to talk to me. And I think obviously fully realised probably about 12 and you think, right, okay, this all sort of clicks in and makes sense now. Mm-hmm. But any questions, if I had any questions, Mum and Dad always said I could go in, talk to them about it. But it wasn't something that we talked about as a family, if that makes sense. We didn't sort of sit around the dinner table and think, right, we're going to discuss IVF today. It was just if any questions popped up in my head or things like that. So
it was something that you understood pretty early when you got older.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I was told at an early age, but then you sort of, when you get older, you understand a bit more. And then obviously you did sex education at school. And I think that's when it sort of clicks in. You think, right, okay, yeah, I understand now.
Yeah, they're like many liars, aren't they?
Yeah.
When you have to understand things and you get older.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously a 4-year-old is not going to understand about sperm and eggs and things like that. They don't understand.
And how did you feel with the media and all the press and everything? And then, I mean, and your parents, how they were feeling about this, being there?
Mum and Dad hated the press. After all, Mum just wanted a baby. That was all Mum wanted. I mean, they went along and they did the press because obviously in the beginning, Bob and Patrick set up a lot of interviews because obviously the world were interested. They wanted to know. So any interviews that Bob and Patrick organised, we would do. For me as an insight, I mean, the press were always there. So it was just what I grew up knowing, seeing the press there all the time and things like that. It was just my normal, if that makes sense. And
did they were kind to you? I mean, you felt well treated?
We had, in the beginning when I was first born, we had some sort of hate mail. Which came over from California, and it was a little box with cotton wool in it, a broken test tube and a fetus, and then they'd flicked red ink in there, and it just said, "We're going to come and get you."
Wow.
That was all it said.
Wow.
So obviously that scared Mum a little bit. But nobody ever came, nothing ever happened. We were always fine, so. But it was just more sort of weird. It was a bit strange.
So Then what do you think your parents did to protect you and give you a childhood as normal as possible?
So basically, when I started school, they declined most interviews apart from Bob or Patrick or Bourne Hall, So Bourne Hall was the clinic that Bob, Patrick and Jean founded after I was born.
Okay.
So I'd say that was... So basically, my sister is classed as a Bourne Hall baby.
Okay.
I'm not, because obviously there was nothing about... Because there was no rules, there was nothing had happened before me. So, so they founded Bourne Hall, and that was, it's a beautiful place. And I've got lots of memories of of the place because we did a lot there. But yeah, so I basically, growing up, they took me out of the spotlight. So they went round to the school, because back when I started school, anybody could walk into a school. There was none of the codes or anything, and you could only go in if you're invited. You could just walk in. So they made sure that no press could come in and try and get hold of me or talk to me. And if that was to happen, they were to be called straight away. So literally from about 4 up to probably about 9, 10, I didn't really do a lot of interviews. We had letters come into the house, people wanting to do interviews and people wanting us to do visits. But Mum said, no, she's at school. We want her to sort of have a normal...
So then you feel that your childhood was, despite the very unusual circumstances around your birth, would you say that it was normal?
Yeah, normal. It was apart from the added press interest, it was the same as all my friends. So yeah, I think I would say it was normal.
Okay. For many years, people have introduced you as the world's first IVF baby. What has it been like to live with that label all the time?
Again, it's something that I've lived with from the very beginning. What they used to call me was the test tube baby.
Have you ever needed distance from this label? Leave me alone. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
The only time when I was growing up, I was about 14.
Okay.
And the only time I've ever sort of thought anything was somebody in Australia knows my name and knows all about me, and I know nothing about them. And I think it's just the fact that it was the other side of the world. And yeah, but that didn't last very long. I think that was just a part of growing up and sort of realising the extent of it.
So I guess that now it has changed. You feel proud to be part of something so meaningful for that so many people.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's nice for me to is part of how I remember the 5 most important people that was in that room when I was born. There were, so you had Bob Edwards, Patrick Steptoe, Jean Purdy, my mum and my dad. All of those 5 people have now passed away. The only people left is myself and John Webster, which was Patrick Steptoe's... I don't know, he used to take my mum's blood, so my mum used to call him Dracula, like an assistant. Yeah, so it was Patrick's assistant. And there's only me and John left now. Everybody else is gone. So it's my way of giving a thank you back to them and keeping their name alive and keeping the story alive so more people can benefit from it, really.
So do you think your story has influenced the way you think about your family, motherhood, or even the idea of where we come from, everybody?
I think I didn't truly until I had my own children. I don't think I truly sort of realised what Mum went through, the feelings. And although mine were conceived naturally, it's still that I think when you become a mother, you sort of realise, and all those feelings just sort of come out. And I think that was when I realised what Mum must have gone through and how strong she was in herself.
She and all the women that went through all this treatment, and thanks to them also,
Yeah,
science
they were
advanced.
all amazing. Actually, I know one of the women that went through the first, as they call them,
Attempt.
the ovum club.
Okay.
So Alistair MacDonald is the second IVF baby. He's from Scotland. He's like a brother to me. We're really close. His mum was one of the original ovum club.
Wow.
So she was in before. Obviously, my mum went in because my mum wasn't part of the first lot. My mum went in. Luckily, first try, one egg, and it worked for my mum. So, and then obviously Grace, and well, I call her Grace. Her name's Grace, but I call her Auntie Grace because just how we were brought up. I'm still in touch with them now. So I get quite good insight into what it was like in the very beginning.
When you have seen old headlines, photographs, or footage from that period, what has affected you most?
I think, why was I wearing that? Or what have I done to my makeup or my hair? But then I suppose you could do that in a normal photo album. But no, some of the I watched a video that I must have done when I was about 10. And I rewatched it the other day, and my voice is really like high pitched and squeaky. And I said, they took an egg from my mummy, and they took, I think I must have said a sperm from my daddy, and they put it together, and then they put it back inside my mummy, and that was the simplest example of what they did, which is true. Which is what my mum and dad told me when I was 4. So, but I sort of, you look back and I sort of think, oh my, just cringe at it all.
Are you ever surprised by the scale of what that birth came to mean?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes if I just get a quiet moment, I sit and think, and then when I get updated from like Eshrei or things like that with how many children have been born, estimated, and I think we're on about 15 million now. I mean, that's just amazing.
It is.
It is just
a lot.
When you think of it, I mean, we could have our own little country, IVF country. I think that sounds good.
Do you feel connected in any way to the world of assisted reproduction?
Well, I sort of owe my life to it in a way. Yeah, I mean, it's quite funny because all the people I've met that have been born through IVF, all are like the firsts of the different countries I've met. We've always had there's always been sort of just a strange connection. I don't know what it is, but we just seem to sort of always get on and chat, and not even necessarily about IVF, but just about our general lives. And they're very similar.
And do you like being updated about, the advances in this field, or you keep separate from the scientific part?
I like to hear what's going on.
Okay.
Whether I understand it is a completely different.
Okay.
I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor, so I don't. But I do like to follow different things and what they can do now. Because, I mean, you think back, it's in 1978, Mum's treatment, although it was pioneering, was relatively simple. She had blocked fallopian tubes. That was the only problem. So that, to me, was, compared to what the problems are today, is simple. So...
age, genetic diseases, endometriosis, severe male factor, many, many things.
Yeah.
So when you compare the very beginning of IVF with where we are now, what strikes you most?
Just the things they can do. Just the advancements that they can do. Yeah. It's just amazing.
Do you know how many attempts they did before having you?
Well...
a lot.
Somebody said today 130.
Yeah.
But I was told 101.
Okay. Anyway,
But
it's quite a lot.
I mean, there was 100 and odd tries. But then my mum came along, first try, one egg, and it worked.
Yeah, it did.
So
I know it
it's just mad.
It's magic.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
It feels like magic even today for me.
Yeah.
In the everyday, clinical practice.
Yeah.
I feel,
I mean,
blessed.
you must just getting that positive test result must be just.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I mean, I've only ever had 2 positive test results, and that was natural. So that's not. But you must, as a doctor as well, just get that sort of buzz.
Louise, today conversations around fertility treatment also include ethics, access, cost, inequality, and stigma. Are there any of those issues that matter especially to you?
So I'm an ambassador for IFFS, which is the International Federation of Fertility Societies.
Okay.
And we do the More Joy campaign. So birth rates around the world are actually falling. So I'm an ambassador for them to raise awareness all around the world. I mean, it's actually happening in my hometown. They're shutting schools because there's just not the children to fill the schools, which this day and age is madness. Is quite scary, really. So again, it comes down to access, affordability. That's all. I mean, I heard them say it so many times, but Bob, Patrick and Jean wanted this treatment to be for everybody, not just for people with lots of money, but everybody. So again, you've got the affordability. I mean, people travel. Obviously, people come to Barcelona to have the treatment. My mum, I mean, she didn't have to fly anywhere, but she travelled over 400 miles for her treatment. Again, that comes down to access. So it's just, those are sort of the main things.
I agree.
That we need to try and get sorted, really.
Louise, many people listening to this podcast are going through fertility treatment right now. What would you like to say to those who are facing this process with fear, uncertainty, or emotional exhaustion?
Right. Relax for the first thing. I mean, if my mum can do it, anybody can do it. She was the most quietest, shyest person you could sort of ever imagine. And if she was sat here now, she would say, just believe that it will work, because that's what my mum did. She just believed. The moment she met Patrick Steptoe in that office, she believed he would help her have a baby. And as I said, first time, 1 egg, and it worked.
It worked.
So
this is something we say sometimes. We only need 1 egg.
Yeah.
Let's try.
Yeah. And believe 1 egg and 1 sperm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about parents? Parents who have had children through IVF, sometimes they struggle to talk to their children. So from your point of view, what would you tell them? I mean, how to manage this information with their children?
Just be open and honest with them. That, I think, goes a long way. I mean, obviously, mum and dad didn't have a choice with me. They had to tell me. But, I mean, there's lots of children's books on everything. So same-sex, surrogacy, egg donation. There are so many books and things out there to help you. If you don't feel confident in, just introduce it to a book. But I do think it's quite important to tell them.
Do you feel any connection with those 15 million of people that have been born through IVF? Any connection?
Well, we were all born the same way. Well, slightly different, obviously, depending on what treatment they had. But yeah, I think what we should do is get all the people together in one place and have a big party. I think that would be nice. That would be pretty good.
We are alive. We are here.
Yes.
Thanks to
I
science.
mean, I'm not sure where
We're
you're going to
healthy.
get 50 million people into one sort of place, but that would be
If we could.
that would be pretty cool.
And if a child born through IVF were listening to this interview one day, what would you want them to understand about their beginning?
Know you were wanted, know you were loved, and your parents would have done anything to have you. Because that's what I take away from what my mum and dad did. Just know that you're loved and wanted, and yeah.
Couples that go through IVF, they're so vulnerable. I mean, I can tell that
Yeah.
this is a very sensitive
Yeah.
subject.
Yeah.
For
And a
many
lot of people go through it without even talking to their families.
Exactly.
I mean, I know people that have, well, I don't know personally people, but I know people do go abroad and it's like they've gone on holiday, have the treatment, and then they come back and they say, oh yeah, we're pregnant, but they don't actually talk about
What they went through.
what they went through.
In recent years, stories like yours have appeared again in the popular culture. For example, in productions like Joy. Have you seen it, the movie?
Yes, I have. I actually was lucky enough to be invited to a day of filming. So we actually I met James Norton, Bill Nye, and Thomason, and they watched a scene that they were filming, which was amazing, and actually got to go into the tiny little laboratory that they made. It was brilliant. And then I also got to do the red carpet with them on the premiere. And I just loved the film.
You liked it?
I liked the film. The guy who plays, it's pretty strange because knowing that mum and dad had passed away and the three doctors, and there's people playing them. And I met the guy who played my dad at the premiere. And he's not far from Bristol. He actually lives not far from Bristol. So he had quite a good accent. And he said, oh, so do you like my sideburns? I grew them specially. So that was I thought that was quite sweet. He was like really trying to, and I know my dad had some pretty big sideburns when he was younger.
So do you think this movie like helped you, like picture your story?
I think it helped the public a lot. I mean, obviously, I learned things from the very beginning, like the Ovum Club and things like that. I'd not heard of that before until I'd seen the film, and then obviously I could speak to Grace, and yeah, it was. I think it's helped the public's perception of it, and they could see how hard the doctors fought, how Bob and Jean. I mean, Jean was struggling, obviously, with her mum because they were Catholics.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, so you sort of didn't realise it was quite as bad as it was. And the fact that they kept going for 10 years is amazing. And then, obviously, my mum comes along and then I'm born in the press. And it's quite funny because I know I was 12 days old before I could even come home from hospital because we had to come down the motorway from Oldham. So we did the 400 miles. And when we got home, there was just a scrum of press. And it's quite funny because we've got a little video that we play when I do certain talks. And it's part of the video. And you see the scrum of people there. And I've never seen anything like it. Literally, my dad takes me, chucks his jacket over me and just runs through these people. It was, and obviously we've got the footage of that. So, but to see what they all went through really, and how far it's come now is brilliant.
Yeah, I think with this movie they could have done like the story too simple, but they didn't. I mean, I think it's quite realistic.
And in Bristol there was also a play called The Child of Science. And it starred Tom Felton played Bob Edwards. Tom Felton is Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter. So that was really good. It was completely different to Joy. They covered different aspects. So they covered more of the press intrusion, the bomb scare before I was born because they wanted to get Mum out of the hospital. Whereas Joy didn't cover that. So they're both equally as good as one another. But
complementary.
Hopefully, the play, they were going to try and get it to Broadway.
Wow.
And I think if they do that, that's definitely another watch if it comes out again. I mean, I saw it about 5 times. And but it's just amazing how 2 things about the same subject can cover completely different aspects of it.
It's very complex in many ways, the story.
Yeah, definitely.
We're coming to an end.
Wow.
Almost. I have a question. And what do you wish people understood better about that moment in history and what it really meant? I mean, if you want to say something.
I mean, what it meant to me, obviously the day I was born, well, I could say what it meant to Mum and Dad. I mean, it meant everything to them. Obviously, it was an important step for reproductive medicine all over the world.
For the humankind.
I mean, if I wouldn't have been born, who knows where anything would be now. You don't how many unhappy, well, you wouldn't have families, would you? It'd be unhappy couples that couldn't have a family. It's not, I sort of think about it, like things like that, and it's scary.
Louise, thanks for being so sensitive, so honest, so sincere, so nice to us. It's been a pleasure to have you here in Eugin. I'm so honored to have had this conversation with you.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm happy.
Thank you
a lot.
Puedes escuchar este y otros capítulos en Spotify y en el YouTube de Eugin. Suscríbete. También puedes seguir toda la actualidad del programa en el Instagram y el TikTok de Eugin. Nadie dijo que sería fácil. Un podcast producido por Eugin y Cir.